Well, thank you. So my name is Jane Straub, and I work at an organization called Jacob Wetterling Resource Center. And what I do at Jacob Wetterling Resource Center is we are an agency that works to make sure that kids stay safe. And so this really made sense that I would come to the safety camp. Now what we do, talking about helping kids stay safe, is safety against people hurting other people. So today we're going to talk a little bit about bullying, and we'll talk about cyberbullying, but we'll also talk about some other things that are really important about how we treat other people and how we want to pay attention to that. So even though we're going to be talking about bullying and we're going to be talking about some of the things that I don't want you to do and that I don't want to happen to you, we're also going to talk about something that's called the 11 traits. So Jacob was a boy who played in a lot of sports, and what everybody said about Jacob was that he always included everyone. If there was a new student that came to school, he would invite that person to sit down for lunch with them. And my favorite story about Jacob is he was a hockey goalie, and he practiced a lot, right? And he was a really good goalie. So there was one time during a game, and it was a game where you really want to win. Do you guys ever have games like that? Yeah. And another person on the other team scored against Jacob, and he was the goalie. And do you know what Jacob did? He went out and he skated over and he shook the person's hand that scored against him. And after, his dad said, "Well, Jacob, why did you do that?" And Jacob said, "Well, you know what? I worked really hard and I practiced to be a good goalie. So if he was able to score on me, that was a really good shot. So he deserved to be congratulated on that." And so a lot of what we talk about too is being a good friend and being a good sport. And hopefully when we talk about bullying and we talk about some things where kids hurt other people, what I want you to be thinking is, how can we do things that actually are kind? And instead of focusing on the negative, that we want to focus on the positive. And sometimes that happens as adults. Sometimes it seems like when we talk to kids, all we talk about are the negative things. So that's why I love to talk about the 11 for Jacob. So at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys kind of do some brainstorming about some things, some ideas that you have about the 11 for Jacob. So when we talk to kids about safety, we have lots of different things that we talk about. And one is we talk about checking first with an adult if we go somewhere, or if somebody, if you're at the park and somebody says that they lost their dog, our rule is that you always check first with the adult that's taking care of you. We also have rules about touching. And our rule is, even if you're a kid, you have the right to say no to touch. And that means that if you have the right to say no to touch, that means that you don't have the right to touch somebody else without their permission. And do you think that might come up when we talk about bullying, people touching people when they don't want it? Yeah, it might. So we're going to, again, focus on that positive, right? If you would like to touch me or shake my hand or give me a hug, we teach that you need to ask permission. And even adults need to ask permission to kids. We think that you guys have the right to your body and you get to say yes or no. So that's another thing that we teach, that we talk about. We also talk about things called what-if games. So this is more of something that we teach to your moms and dads, where we talk about practicing things, because we never want a situation where you guys are scared and then you freeze. But sometimes that happens. And what we find is sometimes when adults want to talk to kids about being safe, they try to scare them. And then what happens, instead of you guys having really good information, then instead you're scared and you freeze. And we don't want you to freeze. We want you to think, oh, you know what? Something doesn't seem quite right here, and I talked about it, and now I know what to do. Either I'm going to say no to that person trying to touch me, or I'm going to check first with an adult who's taking care of me, or I'm going to let somebody know that I need help. So those are the things that we like to teach about. So today, I want you to think about two things. One is, what are your safety rules? So you may have talked about safety rules here at Safety Camp with different things. And then hopefully as a family, you talk about what are your family safety rules. And the reason that I want you to know what your safety rules are, because if someone tries to break the rules, you can recognize that and you can say, wait a minute, at our house, it's a rule that I have to check first before I ride my bike over to somebody else's house, right? At my house, this is the rule, right? So it's important that you know that. And the other thing is, does everybody know where their gut is? Yeah. It's your inner feelings, exactly. So this is a very special thing that we have as humans called our gut instinct. How many of you have been in a situation where all of a sudden your stomach feels a little weird? Raise your hand if you've had that. Yeah. And so what that is, it's your body saying, hey, wait a minute, something doesn't feel quite right. Maybe someone is doing something that's making you feel uncomfortable, or maybe you're confused, or maybe you're scared, or something going on, and so your gut goes off. And so what we want you to do is we want you to pay attention to that. And I even talk to adults about this. If you are an adult and your gut is trying to tell you something, you need to listen to it. So I want you guys to think about that. So think about that gut reaction. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about bullying. And what I like to do is I like to talk about the 3 ingredients of bullying. How many of you like to cook or bake? Yeah. Do you ever cook or bake something that only has 1 ingredient? No. And same with bullying. So sometimes what happens is every time someone does something mean or says something mean, everybody says that's bullying. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just someone who said something that wasn't very nice, or they did something that wasn't very nice. Yes?
Isn't bullying something that happens over and over again?
It is. That is one of the ingredients, exactly. So she said, isn't bullying something that happens over and over again? And that is one of the ingredients. So the first ingredient, and that's the second ingredient on my list, on my recipe. So the first one is that what I do or say to you to hurt you is intentional. What does intentional mean? Yes. On purpose. So I do or say something mean on purpose because I know you don't like it or I know it's going to hurt your feelings. Now, this is kind of a tricky question. How many of you have ever done or said something to somebody else and they didn't like it? Yeah, we probably all have. So this is where I'm going to get to the second ingredient, because right now, if all of you raise your hands, and then I would say, oh, you're all bullies. But I know that you're not, because all of us have maybe done or said something that we wish we wouldn't have said or we wish we wouldn't have done because we know it hurts someone's feelings. So the second ingredient is over and over again. So if I do or say something to you and you don't like it, but I continue to do it again and again and again, now we have 2 of the ingredients to bullying. How many of you have ever told someone to stop and they don't stop? Yeah, that doesn't feel good, does it? No, and so that's something, again, where we go back to you have the right to say yes or no to touch, and if someone's trying to touch you or do something that you don't like, and they're not listening, then we might need to go and report that and ask for help. So just as you don't like to be touched, sometimes we have to remember that we don't do that to other people. So does anybody know what the third ingredient of bullying is? Yes? Someone to do it on, right? And so I usually choose someone that I'm going to hurt because I think that either maybe they won't fight back, or maybe I'm bigger than they are, or maybe it's 2 against 1 or 3 against 1. And what we call this is it's called a power imbalance, but we say it's not a fair fight. So this is maybe a 3rd grader that picks on a kindergartner, or a 6th grader that picks on a 3rd grader, right? Or a large kid that picks on a small kid, right? Or a kid who picks on somebody else knowing that that kid won't fight back because they just won't do it, right? And so those are the ingredients. So do you guys remember them? What was the first one? You can just say it out loud if you remember.
Over and over.
Intentional. I did it on purpose. The second one?
Over and over.
Over and over again. And then the third ingredient? Someone to do it on, right? Feeling like it's not a fair fight. I'm going to pick on somebody that maybe can't or won't fight back, right? So if you think about that definition, do you think the things that you have done or said to somebody else when they didn't like it, do you think it was bullying?
Yes.
Maybe, right? This is where we think back and we say, oh my goodness, you know what? Maybe I did do all 3 of those. And that's okay because we want you guys to learn from it, right? Because maybe you didn't know what bullying was before. But we think it's really important that people get to be treated the way that they would like to be treated. So when we talk about bullying, we talk about different types. So what are some things that you see kids do to other kids that you think might be bullying? Yes? Saying names, calling them names could be bullying. What else do you see? Yes? Talking about people behind their backs. So maybe spreading some rumors or saying some unkind things. Yes? Shoving or pushing? Saying something about their family. Maybe their mom or dad or brothers or sisters. Yeah. Can you guys think of any other examples of what might be bullying? Yes? Online. Yes. So the 4 categories I have for bullying, I talk about it's physical, right? So maybe that's hitting, punching, kicking, those types of things. And then the other one is verbal. So that's what I say to you, maybe calling you names or making you feel bad. The third one is called relational. And that's where someone said talking about someone behind their back or not letting someone join in with you or telling other people not to be friends with that other person. So we call that relational because you're trying to hurt that person's relationships with other people. You're maybe not letting them be friends with people or telling other people not to be friends with them, or you want other people to think things that aren't very nice about that person. And then the fourth one is the online or the electronic, right? Yes? This is for my computer, just to make sure I stay on track. So you guys can't see my computer. Usually I have a PowerPoint so you guys can see it, but we don't have that here. So this is so I remember to say what I need to say. Yeah. So how many of you have heard the phrase, I was only kidding? Yeah, does that make you feel better when someone says that to you?
A little bit sometimes.
A little bit sometimes, yeah, tell me about that.
Well, like if you actually know that they're kidding and you just get a little upset about it, it's like, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah.
like you actually don't. You can tell by the way they say it. Yeah.
Sometimes you can tell, right? So when
They actually are not kidding.
right.
By their eyes when they look.
When I first asked you if any of you have ever done or said something to somebody else and they didn't like it, you may have said, Oh, I was just kidding, because you didn't mean it. So what I think is a better thing to say is I'm sorry and I won't do it again. Because when I say I'm just kidding, that makes it seem like I think it's funny, but you didn't think it's funny, so maybe it's your problem. And I'm gonna say it's not your problem. If you don't like what someone else is doing or saying to you, it's not your problem. It's my problem if I'm doing it to you. So when I hear I'm just kidding, I try to have people change and say something else. Can you guys think of anything else that would be better than that? Yes? I didn't mean it. Right? Yes? I'm sorry for what I did. Will you please forgive me? Yeah. Not saying it in the first place, right? So instead of saying something and then having to say you're sorry, maybe you go, ooh, I'm not even gonna let it come out of my mouth because I know it's not nice. Yes?
Well, it's actually a lot like I'm just kidding, but it's like different. You could say, I was just kidding, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was going to.
Yeah. And sometimes it may seem funny to us, but it's not funny to the person that we say it to. And we could say that, you know what, I'm sorry, I thought it was funny, but now I know that you didn't think it was funny, and I'm sorry. Yes? I know it was mean, sorry, that's right. And when I go in and talk to kids about bullying, it's not because I want someone to get into trouble, it's because I want everyone to be safe. That's really what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that people are safe. So, what are some things that maybe at school or in the neighborhood, what are some things that you see other kids teasing other kids about? What are some things that you see? Yes?
A lot of kids say, ooh, you like this person, you like that person.
So like boyfriend, girlfriend things? Okay, yep. What else?
If they can't do something as well as the other person.
Okay, like if I'm really great at basketball and you're not, I make fun of you. And I just said that because I am not good at basketball. Yes?
If you're playing a game, something like that, I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do it, I'm better, or they maybe kind of take over. They don't let you try and practice. Yes? Your skin color, yep. I'm sorry, can you say that louder?
Like say, quit or something that's not positive.
Okay, they tell you to quit.
Or like they're working hard on something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're working really hard and maybe you know that you're not that good at it, but you want to practice and be better and they're saying, oh, just quit. Right? That doesn't feel very good. Yes.
I have two.
Okay.
Number one is gender.
Gender. Yep. Do we have some words and some things that we say to girls and some words and some things that we say to boys? Yeah. Are some of those words having to do with private parts? Mm-hmm. Yep, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too. Yep, yes. Your height, right? You too tall, too short. Yes.
How smart you are.
How smart you are, or if I don't think you're smart, right? Because sometimes, right? Sometimes people are really good at chess or they're really good at math and science, and then we tease those people. And then sometimes people aren't good at those things, and we tease those people.
Yeah, because if
Right.
you're really smart, they could call you a nerd.
Yeah.
But if you're not really smart, they could tease you.
Right, so they may call you a nerd or they may say that you're not good at anything. Yes?
I want to say something. You're younger than us.
You're younger than us, yep.
Also, you're a girl or you're a boy.
Okay, yeah. Like you're a girl, you don't know how to play soccer. So what do we think of the women's soccer team? Right, totally awesome.
It's actually really good.
Right, and I saw number 13 Morgan's actually in the room right now. Woo! All right. Okay, one more, yes.
Sometimes it's like how like your weight.
Yeah, sometimes your weight. Yep. So, do you think any of those things are things that people don't know is hurtful? Or do you think they know it's hurtful when they say them? A lot of them they know, right? And so these are the things, when we talk about your identity, who you are, you get to be proud of who you are. And so that's if you're a boy or a girl, that's your ethnicity, that's your race, that's your heritage, right? So I would love everybody in this room to be able to be very proud of who they are. Everyone has the right to that. And when someone's making fun of that, that's not okay. The other thing is your appearance. So you guys talked a lot about that, right? So maybe the clothes you wear, tall or short, someone may say you're overweight, right? And here's the thing. Does anyone besides identical twins look alike? No, right? We have all different sizes and shapes, right? That's how as humans we have all different sizes and shapes. And then we had ability. So you guys were able to get all of these. So this is, right, either we call people that are really smart nerds, or if they're not good, we tell them they can't play, or we just do it for them. And then the last one is what we call that relation, that friends, right? If maybe I don't like your friends and I make fun of you because of who your friends are, or I make fun of you because of who your family is. So do you guys think you recognize when something's hurtful and when it's helpful? Yeah. Who can give me an idea of something to say to someone that's helpful? It's a helpful thing to say to someone. Yes? You can do it, right? Especially if I'm really good at basketball. Hopefully I can teach someone to be good, right? And I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I'm going to help you and you can do it. What else is helpful?
Never give up.
Never give up, right? Just keep going. Keep going. Yes? We're counting on you, right? We need you. It might put the pressure on you, but it might be, but that's okay. If that's okay for you to say, oh my goodness, that puts the pressure on me, right? Can you say so? So now we know not to say that to you, right? What's helpful?
I hope it turns out well.
What?
I hope it goes well.
I hope it goes well. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Now, does anybody know something that actually happens in your brain when you say something nice to other people?
It's satisfaction.
It is it's satisfaction. There's actually some chemicals that get released in your brain that make you feel good when you say something nice to somebody else. Do you think that happens when you say something mean to someone else?
No. It makes you feel bad.
It does, right? So there's a lot of reasons that we want to talk about bullying. So you guys talked about things that are good. So I'm going to ask you some true or false questions. All right, so what I'm going to do is if you think the answer is true, give me a 1. If you think it's false, give me a 5. Because I'm afraid I might not be able to see the difference between 1 and 2. So true is 1, false is 5. All right, bullying is just a normal part of growing up. All right, we see a lot of 5s. Why do you think that's false? Yes?
Because, it's not good to bully. If you bully, it changes your personality.
Yeah.
It changes your personality. You might grow up and on the other hand, I kind of would think
That's right.
that because, it teaches you how to be kind of, tough and, stand up.
We don't want it to be normal, right? We don't want someone to have to be bullied to know what it feels like, right? But it is normal because it seems like it happens to everybody. That's what we want to fix, and that's what we want to change, right? Oh, go ahead.
It's not really a bad thing. It's bad that people are getting bullied, but like you said, it also helps you stand up for yourself.
Sometimes, right? Sometimes we have some negative things that happen and it makes us stronger. But sometimes when people are excluding us and calling us names and not letting us play, sometimes that doesn't make us stronger. So we want to, yes?
I feel like most of the people that said false was because of how that it doesn't make you be a bully, you choose to be a bully.
You do. It's a choice that you make, Absolutely, good point. Okay, here's the next one. True or false? Bullying it's just teasing. Yeah. Is there sometimes that you maybe do some teasing between your friends and it's not bullying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there times when teasing is bullying?
Yeah, because then you're not, if you're bullying is not the same thing as teasing, because then you're still being mean.
Right. And then we talk about, is your intent to hurt someone? Are you doing it over and over again? And are you choosing that person to harm them? Right? All right, here's another one. People who are bullied, it may hurt for a while, but they'll get over it. What do you think, true or false?
Not sure.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the person.
It depends on the person. It depends on how bad it is. And you know what it really depends on? If someone is bullying me and I have people around me that support me and tell me it's not my fault and that they want to be my friend and what happened to me wasn't okay, that's going to be better for me. That's what we need to do. And that's called a bystander. So a bystander is someone that maybe hears some mean things going on or they see some things and they know it's not okay. And maybe you don't feel safe going up to the person that's saying it and saying that's not very nice to say, but later telling the person who was harmed, saying, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's not true, right? And why don't you come and play with me? That's what we need people to do. Yep, all right. Being bullied in person is worse than being bullied online. True or false? Is that a harder one?
No.
No?
No.
Who thinks being bullied in person is worse? Who thinks being bullied online is worse? All right, so let's talk about that a little bit, because this one doesn't really have a right or wrong answer. This was a little bit of a tricky one. What is bad about being bullied in person? What do we kind of want to think about with that? Yes?
It can be physical.
It could be physical, so they could hit you or physically hurt you in person. Yep. What else? They could actually hurt you, right? So they could be saying something mean to you and they could be hurting you. What's worse about online? What happens online? Yes?
When you're online, it doesn't permanently get deleted. It's still there.
Right. Sometimes it's hard to erase or delete those comments, and sometimes many, many people can see the hurtful words that someone said about you. Yeah. What else?
That it can spread really fast. Like one time it could just be a big thing, but then it keeps going. So then like almost the whole world could find out.
Yep. I could say something mean to someone and like that, whole bunch of people can see it. Right? Yes?
People online, like you can't erase that, and you couldn't see their actions. Like if they said I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. You couldn't see their actions. So you didn't know if they were being true or not being true. So it would hurt.
Right.
More,
Yeah, because we get...
hear them.
You can't hear them. We get so much information when we look at people's faces and their bodies, right? So our facial expressions and our body language, that gives people information with our words. So sometimes online, we don't know if someone's serious or if they're kidding or what they really mean. And sometimes that leads to some confusion and things happening. Yes?
I forgot to say this before.
Yes?
But you can't tell if they're bullying at you because they can make groups online when you just chat with 10.
Yep.
So
And
when they bully behind your back, you can't see it.
right. Yep. And sometimes you may not know who it is because of a name or something that they create. Yes?
One reason I feel it's worse is that when you're cyberbullying people, if you do something inappropriate,
Yep.
and then nobody else would know.
Yeah, you might not know who it is, and sometimes you can hide things online so other people can't see it. All right, how many of you have one of these things?
Oh yeah. Which one? The back or the front?
Just a cell phone. Or how many of you, if you don't have your own, have your mom's or dad's that you use? So is this as powerful as a computer? Do I need a computer to cyberbully someone? No, right? So I can use a phone, I can have it with me at all times. So here's the other thing about online. It's not just cyberbullying, but what we know with technology is now people maybe can reach out and they can talk to you or ask you questions because they have access online. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. You can just raise your hand if it's true for you. How many of you have seen something online that has made you feel uncomfortable? Okay. How many of you have seen something online where someone is physically hurting another person? How many of you have seen something online where someone has posted or is saying something mean to another person?
Saying something means another person?
Yes.
Basically just completely bullying.
Right? How many of you have either seen pictures or heard people use words that have to do with body parts?
Is it online?
Online, yeah.
So seen.
So seen it. Either you've seen the pictures of the body parts or they're saying the words about the body parts. Yep. So this is what we have. We kind of live in a world. When I was your age, I didn't have access to that, and I didn't have people trying to show me pictures or do something like that. But what that's actually called is, sometimes we call that exploitation, right? So it may be an adult or it may be another kid that's connecting to you online or through social media or through gaming, and they maybe start using some inappropriate language, or they maybe start showing you pictures or saying things. And I want you guys to know, if that happens, it is never, ever, 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 ever your fault. And that we want you to tell somebody about it, because that shouldn't be happening to you. Okay? And sometimes what happens is young people, they get scared because they think if they tell their parents that they're going to get in trouble, and then their mom and dad is going to say something like, I knew you shouldn't have had a cell phone. Right? I knew you shouldn't have been playing those video games, right? So I actually talk to parents a lot too and say, you know what, we want our kids to come and let us know if they need help, right? Because if you're using technology the right way and somebody isn't, that's not your fault. Does that make sense? All right, so what I want you guys to do is I want you to be thinking about these 11 traits, because we were kind of talking about some of the negative things that were happening, and we like to talk about the positive things. So what we're going to do is we are going to count off by 11. All right, you guys going to be able to do it, and we're going to get into groups. All right, here we go. You are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Don't forget your number. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do you guys know sign language? This is sign language. Oh, I'm sorry. I stepped on your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Whew, now I got to get over here without stepping on your foot again. Are you okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Morgan? 8. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I want the ones right over here. Come here if you're a 1. All right, ones, your job is I want you to come up with something that you can do to show people how to be fair. And how, so one is how can you show being fair, and how can being fair stop bullying? All right, you got that? How you can practice being fair and how being fair can stop bullying. All right, where are my twos? All right, this is good. You guys got to move around. Here we go. All right, number 2. You guys are going to be kind. So I want you to think of one way to show that you can be kind.
Can we do it like a skit?
I'm not sure that we're going to have time, but I wish we could. But maybe after I go, you can ask if you want to do it. All right, so how can you be kind, and how does being kind stop bullying? All right, number 3s. Come on over. Woo! All right, here we go. All right, so number 3, you guys are be understanding. So how do you show that you're being understanding, and how does being understanding stop bullying? All right, let's have the 4s over here. All right, so 4s, you guys are gonna be honest. So how do you show someone that you're being honest, and how could being honest stop bullying?
Okay.
All right, great. All right, let's have the 5s right here. Oh my gosh, you had to go so far. 5s, who's another 5?
What are we supposed to be doing in our groups? Just talking about how to be understanding? Or?
Yes. How to be understanding and how being understanding can stop bullying. So 2 different ideas. All right, so you guys are be thankful. So how can you show how to be thankful? And how can being thankful, how can that stop bullying? All right, you guys got it? All right, I need my 6s. We're not gonna have time to do plays, but maybe after I leave, you guys can.
Okay, but like, what are just gonna say our idea?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. All right. So number 6, you guys are gonna be a good sport. So how do you show that you're being a good sport, and how does being a good sport stop bullying? You got it? All right. Here we go. All right. Here we go. 7s. All right. You are ready. I like it. All right. So 7s, you are be a good friend. So how do you show that you're a good friend, and how can being a good friend stop bullying? You guys got it? All right, get to work. All right, let's have the 8s back here. All right, thank you for being ready. All right, so 8s, this is kind of a hard one. You guys are be joyful. Do you guys know what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, be happy, yep. So how do you show that you can be happy? How would that help someone? Smile, absolutely. And how can being joyful, how can that stop bullying? All right, so you guys think about that. All right, I need my 9s. 9s.
So is it like a little skit?
We don't have time to do a skit. I just want you guys will just tell me.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so number 9s, you guys are being generous. Do you know what that means? To give things, to share with other people. Yep. So how can you show that you're generous, and how could being generous, how could that stop bullying? All right, where are my 10s? Please be patient, because I'm just getting to all the groups. All right, 10s. Okay. So you guys are be gentle with others. So how do you show that you're being gentle? And how can being gentle with others stop bullying? All right, got it? All right, and where are my 11s? All right, so 11s, you guys are be positive. So how do you show someone that you're being positive? So maybe that's like, hey, good try, good game. And then how could being positive, how could that stop bullying? All right, you guys talk about it.
We were thankful. Can you tell us what the other one was? The
Oh, so what you want to do is, how do you show that you're thankful? And how could being thankful stop bullying? I know, that's a little hard one.
I figured out the first one, but
Okay. Yeah. But maybe by saying thank you and being thankful, it shows people that you care when they help you. And then someone would be willing to help someone. Instead of hurt someone, they might be willing to help someone. That might work. Okay, this is what I would like you to do. Please sit on the floor in your group. Thank you. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I know that was a lot of work and there's a lot of people talking. You guys did a great job. So some of you asked if you can do skits, and I'm sorry, that would have been an awesome idea, but we don't have time for that. So you can maybe talk to the safety camp people, and if some of you want to perform a skit, that would be great. So next time, that's a good idea for me. So thanks for sharing that. All right, so is there a group that would like to go first?
Sure.
All right, what group are you guys? 7. Be a good friend. All right, this is where I need everyone. You guys it's kind of been a long time and it's hot in here, but I need everyone to be a good listener. All right, be a good friend. How do you show that you're a good friend?
by being a good friend, you can either bystander, and when people are bullying them, you can step up and say, that's not right.
Okay, and so that was being a friend and stopping bullying. All right, let's hear for him. Nice job. All right, who's ready to go next? You guys? That's all right. That's all right. Why don't you guys stand up? All right, guys, you know what? We just have a couple minutes. I need you to stick with me. All right, you guys have been an awesome group. Thank you for your patience. We're almost done. I know it's hot. What number are you guys?
3, be understanding.
Be understanding. How can you show someone that you're understanding?
Oh, we didn't know it was that.
You said,
We thought it was like you said, not being understanding. How would that lead to bullying?
All right. It is. How does someone know that you're being understanding? And how could being understanding stop bullying?
okay, that's what we thought.
Yeah.
When you're,
Oh, well, that's not what it sounded like to us. Well, sorry then.
Okay. I gave some bad directions. All right. That's on me. All right. Let's go. You guys, what number?
So when you're kind, you can be kind to the
Oh, sorry. You're be kind. Yep.
When you're kind to the bully, they might stop bullying.
They might. Sometimes they might just need a friend and they don't know how to be nice. Yep. So excellent. All right. All right. Group number 1. How do you, bless you, how do you show someone you're being fair?
include other people to the game that you're playing.
Include other people in the game that you're playing. Guys, you know what? Right now, we're having a problem with being respectful. So, I know you guys have done a really good job, but I need you to hang in there for a couple more minutes because it's fair that everybody gets their turn.
So
All right.
If something happens to one person, it should happen to everybody.
Okay, so the fair, like if somebody gets a turn, everybody should get a turn. Excellent. All right, what number are you guys? 5. How do you show that you're being thankful?
By saying thank you.
By saying guys? All right, and how could being thankful, how could that stop bullying?
You can say thank you. Like maybe the bully will not listen.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes when we say we're thankful and we say thank you to somebody, it shows that we really appreciate what someone is doing. And then they know that we're being helpful. All right. Did you guys go yet?
Yeah.
Did you guys go? Okay. What number are you guys?
6.
6. Be a good sport. How do you show you're being a good sport?
You can, before a game starts, you can go up to the person that you know, or like the whole team, and you just say, "You got this."
All right. You can go up to your team and say, "You got." Group number 2. I need you guys to be better listeners. All right. And then, how could being a good sport stop bullying?
Because if you were playing against a bully, and if they won and were being a good sport, they could brag and say, your team lost the game because we won.
Yeah,
And
but
then-
we're going to continue to be good
and then
sports.
the person who said you got this, it would just like boost their confidence.
Yeah. All right. Nice job. Okay. What group are you guys?
4.
4. Be honest. How do you show that you're being honest?
Well, to show being honest, you can be like really nice to someone. Like you could just be like, oh, like if you're being bullied, like if you don't want to tell someone, like if you don't want to tell an adult that you're being bullied, you can just like, I don't know, just tell them.
Yeah. Sometimes what happens is maybe a friend tells another friend that they need help if they're afraid to tell an adult. So then sometimes we have to make sure that we let an adult know. And sometimes that's being honest, right? This person is doing something and I don't like it, right? And how can being honest stop bullying?
Having honest and stop bullying. Like if you keep on like telling like a principal, a teacher, your mom or dad, or like your guardian.
Yeah.
Then like they could like tell the principal if you didn't tell the principal already, and then like the principal could like say like, that's not nice, I won't allow that in my school.
Right. Sometimes we have to tell more than once, right? If I go to an adult and I don't get the help that I need and I'm still being hurt, sometimes I may have to ask for help again. All right. What number are you guys? 10. Be gentle with others. How do you show that you're being gentle?
Not like
Not pinching them, not punching them, those types of things. And how can being gentle with others, not hurting them? How can being gentle with others stop bullying?
Like talking to them gently, not loud.
Yeah, talking to them gently, not yelling at them or screaming at them, right? Being patient while we're waiting for everyone to have their turn is how we show we're gentle with others, right? You guys got that? Perfect. All right, what number are you guys? 9. Be generous. So how do you show that you're being generous?
you can like whenever you're playing like a game outside, like soccer or something, you can share like if there's like a new student that's being left out, you can go and see if they want to play with you.
Yeah, you can share the soccer ball, ask if they want to play with you. And how could being generous stop bullying?
If they like take the ball, it wouldn't, and just kept it for themselves, it wouldn't be very nice.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yep. Someone takes it and they don't share, we could let somebody know. All right. Oops, I'm sorry. What number are you guys? 11. Be positive. How is being positive? How do you show that?
You're doing a great job. Keep working hard.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, right? Some of you are being really good listeners right now, so good job. How could being positive, how could that stop bullying? Yeah. Sometimes we have to ignore the negativity, right? Sometimes we just maybe have to walk away if someone's not being nice or if they're not saying nice things. Absolutely. All right. What number, who do we have? Back here, what number are you guys? 8. Be joyful.
So we have like for the person who's being bullied, they can just be like, you can say like they have like their own, like they can say, I have my own opinion. I have my own opinion.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think. What I think is more important to me.
Yep.
And
Like, I love your hat, but if someone said, I do not like your hat, you could say, well, I like my hat, and that's what matters to me.
And then we also have for like to prevent bullying from happening.
Yes.
The people who are going to bully the other people, they could just be joyful and kind and nice, and they could know that bullying is just not okay.
Right, and they could make sure they have those positive things in their brain. All right, did we get all the groups? 1, 2, 3, beat time! All right, awesome job, you guys. I think the safety camp is great because they're learning all types of safety and then it's not isolated. So they're, learning about calling 911 or fire safety, and then they're learning about body safety and bullying, and it just puts it all together as there's different types of safety. And we know that scared kids are not smarter kids, so we want kids to have good information. So here, they're learning a lot of information and they're also able to practice, which is a really good part of the learning process. I think when we're talking about the bullying is they were very good at understanding that sometimes kids say mean things and then they say, I'm just kidding, and it doesn't fix it. So learning, if they do say something that's unkind or they do something unkind, to learn to fix that problem. And I think, for them, we talked about just because you say or do something mean doesn't make it bullying, but that we do sometimes accidentally say mean things, but we need to make sure that if we do, we try to fix that. So we want them to, again, have the right words. Instead of saying, I was just kidding, which doesn't sound good. We've all done. Right. And so they did a really nice job of, I said, what can you say? And I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Or I know that hurt your feelings. Or, I didn't mean to say it. Or, those types of things. So kids have the answers. They just need the opportunity to practice. I think what we're seeing with the younger kids is when I was asking about access to technology, so many of them have access, and that leads a whole nother realm of safety. So it's not just the cyberbullying, but it is the access to information. I was asking them about, are they seeing people getting hurt? Are they seeing people show pictures or talk about body parts and those types of things? So as parents, we need to understand that they may have access to those things, and we need to prepare kids and then let them know that we would like you to use technology and we want you to use it the right way. But if someone else isn't using it the right way, we want you to come and tell us. We never want kids to keep that secret or keep that private because they think that they're going to get into trouble. And we don't want kids hiding, especially when it comes to technology, because they are light years ahead of us. So, yep.